Verse 283. It is the habit energy of people that brings out into view something resembling body, property and abode. Mind is neither a being nor a non-being. It does not reveal itself because of habit energy. The last few verses have been concerned with returning to mind only, rejecting all notions, both notions to do with an external world and an individual, but also supposedly spiritual notions or Buddhist notions. It's so easy to get trapped into philosophizing and trying to understand concepts, notions. But all these are pointers to what's described here as mind or mind only. And mind only is awareness. Awareness is what is aware. It's aware that something is going on. It's aware that perhaps there's a lot of things going on. And then it starts thinking about these things, giving them names, and deciding that some of these things are good and some of these things are to be avoided. And in order for some things to be recognized as good and some things recognized as better to be avoided, we've got to have some sort of notion of ourselves. We've got this body, which we've got very limited control of, although it's the only aspect of the environment, of everything that's going on, that we seem to have some direct control of. I've got a few limbs that I can waggle about, and that's about the size of it. That's about it as far as control goes. I've got a few limbs that I can waggle about. So that seems important. That is my body. And I have to hang on to that. I have to hang on to that and look after it. Because it's the only thing which gives me any control over what's going on, even though it's incredibly limited. And even within my body, I've got very little control. I can only waggle a few limbs about, make some noises, and excrete certain substances. So, that's the body. It needs to be looked after. We need things to protect it. We need an abode, a home, to protect it from the elements, to protect it from those that would threaten us. And we need to shore up our sense of personal identity by having things. By having things. I shop, therefore I am. So this is the body, property and abode. This is, for most people, their reality. Now mind, it says, is neither a being nor a non-being. It isn't something that we can draw to ourselves. It isn't something that we can push away from ourselves. It isn't something that comes and goes. It's operating all the time. It's operating all the time, otherwise we wouldn't be able to function. We wouldn't be able to function without awareness. A camera takes pictures, but it cannot decide what pictures to take. It doesn't have awareness. The thing is, even though this awareness is always present, we're not aware of it, because we're so caught up in what's described here as habit energy. These are our patterns of behaviour. More fundamentally, they're our pattern of moods. Our moods prompt us to behave in particular ways. Our moods incline us to believe that things are a certain way. In enlightenment practice, we are operating on a very subtle level. And it's a level at which we become aware of our own habit energy. A while back, somebody asked me what the use of these teachings is. And I don't really like to think of them in terms of having a use. You know, some people might promote them as being conducive to longevity or to health or whatever. But it seems to me that they give us a great opportunity to reprogram our mind. A hypnotist might be able to do this for us to some extent. But here we can actually do it ourselves. We need to become aware of our own habit energy and stop automatically going along with it. It can be quite uncomfortable, perhaps a bit like cold turkey. Because the whole point of our habit energy, like any kind of addiction, is we don't want to resist it. Even if the consequences are painful or uncomfortable, we don't like to resist it. But as enlightenment practitioners, it's not that we're resisting it, we're just not giving in to it because we've got something better. We've got awareness. We've given up notions of body and abode and property. We now have the option of abiding in awareness. This might not seem like a great deal, but it's what's described as the Buddha stage. This is Tathagatahood. It's suchness. It's the realm of the Buddhas. It's a very wonderful thing, and the wonder of it can be continually explored. That, hopefully, is what we're doing in these videos. So mind with a capital M, is obscured by habit energy. By becoming aware of this habit energy and not automatically giving in to it. This is our enlightenment practice. The next verse develops this a little bit further. Verse 284. Dirt is revealed within purity, but purity itself is not soiled. As when the sky is veiled with clouds, mind is invisible. So here, the mind is being obscured by the clouds of habit energy. And this dirt is revealed within purity. The dirt of our habit energy is revealed within purity. In other words, when we're aware of our habit energy, we can only do this when we're touching awareness or abiding in awareness. And even then, a certain tone might be apparent, a certain deep underlying tone, which we might not have recognized before because we're too busy going along with it. As I say, we're working at a level now where we can reprogram our own minds. And this tone, in my case anyway, I would describe as a rather low level, negative, almost depressive kind of energy. So we can recognize that. Now this might not shift very easily. It's very deep down. So we have to look even deeper. It might be even useful at this point to remember the Buddhas. The Buddhas have their own energy. And we keep at it. We keep at it. This is our work as enlightenment practitioners.